Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining my live stream. Well, we made it back. We just wrapped up what is it? It was I think a 5 night and a 6 day trip heading up north to Crater Lake and then back down the coast back home here to the San Francisco Bay Area. I'm going to switch the camera if that's cool because it'll be higher resolution. No, I'll leave it on. And I wanted to just let everyone know how that trip what went well on that trip, and what things we might do a little bit differently. And then talk a little bit about our next trip that we're planning, which we're going to be taking off on this week. So probably leaving on Saturday. But here I am. We're at home. We got in on Friday night, really late, like around 11 o'clock on Friday night. We could have stayed one more night, but we're anxious to get back to the house here. So that, by the way, that's where we're at. I'll show you. We're back at the house. I'm in a window. I'm on the roof of the Airbnb here, but yeah, you can see. Hi everyone. I'm just going over we got back home last week, and this is the house. That's the main house down there, and this is the guest house, and then that's our patios. I'm on top of the Airbnb, and that's June's studio up there. I think he's working. Let's pop in really fast and see if he's working. So this is his art studio. By the way, check him out, juniearts.kr on Instagram. It says he's working. Check. Hello, can we come in? June is working in his art studio. Oh, look at this. He's just getting it set up here. So he's doing some work here. Look at that. That's a new painting. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. He's got a good view. Thanks, June.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. So, um, and then let's see, what do we have down here? So then we're coming down from his art studio. This is just the patios here. This is where we're come back to. This is we're in a kind of rural forest setting here in the East Bay Hills, but it's kind of nice. We don't really have a lot of neighbors around. This is kind of a green belt around the property. There's a seasonal creek that runs around the property. Anyway, so we're resting up here for a few days. The trip went really well. We started off in San Francisco. We went to cut over immediately on the 101 to go over to the coast at Bodega Bay. So for those of you who have never been there, it's really beautiful. It's where Alfred Hitchcock filmed The Birds, and it's just a funky little California beach town, and beautiful coastline. And if you want to boondock there, there's just tons of spots that you can pull over off of Highway 1, as long as you're kind of in a van and kind of quiet and don't make a lot of noise and things. There's just beautiful coastline there to boondock. So we didn't boondock there. We boondocked further south on 1. Then we cut across at Jenner. I forget what the state highway is, and went through Guerneville and then to Highway 101. And it was getting late in the day, so we kind of zipped along Highway 101 to get close to the Oregon border, and then cut across another state highway all the way. Beautiful, beautiful highway taking you through, just the national forests till we got to Crater Lake. And then at Crater Lake, I think on the whole trip, we boondocked 3 nights out of the 5, I think. And boondocking is my favorite. We have a membership at the KOA. Not my favorite, but the reason why I went with KOA is because they're all over the US and they're pretty clean and consistent. So once you go to one KOA, you know what you're going to get at the other KOAs. And that's our backup plan always. So if for some reason we just can't find a place to boondock, then we can usually find a place at a KOA nearby and go stay at the KOA. So that's always our backup. In fact, on this trip, we stayed one night at a KOA. They're not generally as packed in. Some of them are, but the ones, at least that I've been to, they're not as kind of crowded as other private campgrounds. So we did stay one night at a KOA in the Redwood Grove, and it was really beautiful and really pretty. we booked it for 2 nights. The second night, we didn't stay at the KOA, even though we paid for it. We didn't stay at it because we found a boondocking spot that day as we were out traveling around, and that's kinda what you have to do when you're out and about boondocking, is drive around the area and kinda scope it out a little bit, and then you'll find, maybe for that night, the place you wanna boondock. So that's a lot of times what we do. I don't like to boondock right off the road because at night it's just dangerous and also it's noisy. Cars going by and their headlights flashing in and stuff like that. Plus, you're calling a little bit of attention to yourself. So, what I like to do is we try to find a spot that's either a side road where it's a little bit off the main road in a beautiful setting and it's just a lot quieter. You don't hear any road noise or anything like that. Or if it is right off the road, it's which we've done before. It's off, not a very busy road at all, and then it's further off the road, so it's just a little more safe. And headlights and things aren't, as cars pass by, they're not coming into the van. So 3 nights we did boondocking. They were incredible. That's when we saw the mother bear and the cub, and then a couple nights at a campground. Um, Now, the next trip. Oh, so what worked well on this trip? So I love, as you guys know, I love a 19-foot van. It's just so super easy to drive. We got great mileage, probably around 23, 24 miles per gallon. Keep in mind, my Ascent is one of the rarer four-cylinder engines. Most of them are the six-cylinder engines, but I happen to get the one which I like, which is a four-cylinder, seven-speed transmission, so it gets slightly better mileage. But we're still getting around 24, 25 miles per gallon, so it didn't cost us a lot in fuel. And having that smaller kind of 19-foot, 6-inch length really made it easy just to park it anywhere at all. You can take it anywhere. And as you guys all know, when I go boondocking, we rarely ever hook up. So even if we're at a campsite, we're boondocking. We're not connected up to their shore power. We're not connected up to the water. We're not connected to the sewer. We're basically a car just pulling in the spot, utilizing their fire pit and their picnic table and stuff like that. And that's so when we feel like it, we can just hop in the van, pull out, and get going. And that's the way we like to have things set up. On the inside of the van, it's also kind of the same way. I'll show you more as we go on more trips, but we normally have everything battened down on the inside of the van. So at a moment's notice, we can just shut the sliding door and take off and go someplace. And that's just the way we like to do it. We just don't like to be tethered down. The bed in the back of the Ascent's very comfortable, but I think we're gonna make some changes to it because, it just needs a few changes. It gets a little bit tired. We just generally, like, in our sweats and stuff like that, just kinda lay down and throw some blankets on top of us, and we're good to go, but I think we're gonna change it around a little bit. Uh, the absorption refrigerator I talked about, it was 90 degrees, up to 100 degrees on some parts of the trip. And the absorption refrigerator was nice because it does use propane, which means that we weren't using electricity. Because a lot of times, we were like, we were under shady trees like this and didn't get a lot of sunlight. So it sips propane. The refrigerator part did keep cold, but we had some ice cream stuff in there and that stuff melted pretty bad when it was really hot outside. The absorption three-way refrigerators just don't do well when it's really hot outside. That's just the reality of it. So just keep that in mind. Also, our refrigerator is a little bit small, so we were shopping every couple days. That's fine because we like to eat fresh and get fresh fruits, vegetables, and things like that in there. So we're shopping quite a bit. Again, the shorter van makes it easy to just find a local shop or something like that. The other thing is, it was really nice being able to get out and travel with COVID-19, just knowing that everything was, "Hey, Santiago, Chile, welcome." Everything was just, our bathroom was ours, the bed was ours, the way we prepped our food and everything, we could be cautious about COVID-19, so it just made us feel a lot more safe. I talked about the tank sizes. A couple times we did have to stop at the campgrounds, and one time we had to just go by a private campground on our way back because all of our tanks were full, and we had to dump, and that cost us $5, so it just wasn't a lot of money. So if you're on the road, you're boondocking, just we just asked at the KOA, "Oh, is there a local place we can dump our tanks?" And they said, "Oh yeah, just go down to such and such place down the road." it's $5 and you can dump your tank. So that's easy. Dump your tanks there, $5. We also filled up our water tank there, and kind of kept rolling. So KOA, Campground of America, KOA. It's just what we use because they're nationwide, and you kind of know what you're going to get with the KOA. It's kind of standardized, the cleanliness and all that stuff. Their services. A lot of KOAs have restaurants or little cafes and stuff like that in them. So if you pull in later at night and you don't want to cook, then you can grab something there. So it's just always our backup plan and it doesn't cost that much. We also use harvest hosts, by the way, as well. There aren't a lot of harvest hosts, but they're kind of cool and they're free. So check them out as well. They've sponsored some of my videos, harvest hosts. Uh, we're heading out this Saturday. I believe we're going to Kings Canyon here in California. It's about a 4-hour drive away from where we're at in San Francisco. And it's a beautiful national park. It's right outside Fresno. It's kind of nestled between the Sierra National Forest and the Sequoia National Forest. And it's close to Yosemite, but it's very different from Yosemite. So we're going to check that out. We don't have because we have guests checking in from the into the Airbnb on Sunday. We're not going to be able to have a full week there, but that's fine. That's the beauty about having a kind of Class B RV that you can just hop into and head out on. Oh, June is doing a live video on his Instagram, so if you want to check him out, it's junyarts.kr on Instagram, JUNY arts.kr on Instagram. Uh, yeah, so we're going to check that out. We're going to make a few changes in the RV, which I'm going to share with you guys when we do that. Just little things that you find out while you're on the road. Where can you hang your jackets and stuff like that. Where do you put the trash can? Just little stuff that you need to. I don't think about often, and then when you go on a trip, it turns out that it becomes important. Also, got this new iPhone 11 Pro camera thing. Hopefully the video is better. Hopefully the audio is better. Got the new AirPods for the audio. Let me know how it's sounding and how it's looking. Or I'm going to switch over to the other camera. Oh, can you see me? Hope you guys. So this is the backside camera on the iPhone 11. It's supposed to be a much better camera than the front-facing camera. So hopefully the quality is a little bit better for you. Someone asks if I'm retired. I'm kind of, sort of retired. I still do this channel, and I'm still doing the Airbnb, but trying to kind of ease into that retired life if I can. So that was part of all the life changes that was and still is underway happening in my life right now. So I'm going to switch the camera back. There we go. Yeah. So someone's asking, am I in a space station? No, not. All right. If you guys have any questions, they're popping up on my screen here. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have. I'm trying to get. Let me see. I'm going to bring up the chats here. And yeah, it's a little jerky. I'm going to get a stabilizer or something like that so that it's not so jerky, but I'm trying to improve it. I'm going to do more live streams like this. I just think it's more intimate and I love sharing with you guys. And it's less kind of, I don't know, produced and edited and things like that. So I really like these live streams because I feel more connected to you, especially in this day and age of COVID, where we're all just so socially distanced and disconnected. So I'm going to try to do more live streams. You have any questions? Frame rate's jerky. Yeah, just pop them in there, and I'll be glad to answer them. If not, I'm probably going to live stream. Oh, Saturday we're going to head out on the boat. Oh, thank you. You like the little scruff? It's a new look. Saturday we're going to head out on the boat on the San Francisco Bay. So join us. I think we're heading out at 8 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 11 o'clock Eastern time. So I'll show you around the boat. I've got a boating lesson. Yes, I bought a 50-foot classic wood Chris Craft Constellation, and I'm taking yachting lessons because it's so big and it's twin engine, and I don't feel confident yet helming that boat. So I've got a lesson with the Coast Guard captain It's probably my 12th lesson or something like that. And I'm upside down. Am I upside down? Rotate device back. I don't know. It says I'm okay. I think I'm okay. So yeah, join me 8 o'clock a.m. Pacific on Saturday, and I'll take you on a tour of the boat. When I had the backside of the camera. Okay, I have to figure all this out, and then I'll take you out on the bay. So we'll go take a look at. It's beautiful because we're going to go into the Bay Bridge, and we'll probably go past the downtown San Francisco and then out around Angel or Alcatraz Island, and it's moored at Treasure Island. So it's really beautiful. So that's all part of my new channel. It's ultra mobility. It's not just about van life. It's also about yachting, boat life, and just being mobile. I'll take you up to the glamping site. I built a glamp site up above on the property. So we can kind of go camping without leaving the property. So I'll take you up there at some point so you can see that as well. All right, everyone. It was really nice. See, oh, what do I like most about my scent? Someone asked. I love its size and I love its build quality. That's what I really love about my scent. It's just the perfect size. Like we went into a state campground on this trip. It could only accommodate RVs up to 25 feet, but the particular site, the only one and only site that was open in this state campground, which was in the beautiful sequoia uh, trees grove, was 19 feet. So if it was any longer than my 19 feet in length, it would have been sticking out and I couldn't have gotten in this space. So I love the 19-foot RV. It's just the perfect size, and it really opens up a ton of opportunities for you and wherever you want to go. Mine's a Pleasure Way, manufactured in Canada by Pleasure Way Industries. It's a 2017. I like the build quality, and frankly, I like the interior design. It's just very clean and sleek and modern. You guys will see more of it. And so it just, I don't know, it kind of feels a little special when you go camping. You're in the middle of redwoods or a forest or on the coast or something like that, and it's nice to come back to, and it feels very homey and woody on the inside, but kind of very still clean, things like that. And like I said, I love having just my own bathroom, cooking inside the van, especially during COVID-19, uh, being able to be self-contained with the lithium batteries, propane, and all that, so I don't ever have to hook up. And no, you do not need a special driver's license. It's just a regular car. Here, at least in California, if it's a double axle, some RVs have two axles in the back, then you need to have a special license. But this is really, it's just a car basically. So you don't need any special license. And you'll find out when you go test drive one, a lot of people are a little bit intimidated, but they're not intimidating. I've done a video on it. Go check it out. I asked a friend who had never driven an RV, never driven a van, a Class B before, to take it out for the first time, and I videotaped her live, and she got the hang of it just like that. So yeah, you don't need any special license. Leisure travel vans, I like them. They used to make Class B vans, uh, but they got out of it. I think it got too crowded. So now they only make Class Cs. I like some of their Class Cs, a little bit concerned about some of their quality. I've seen some quality control issues, but I like their design. I think they have great designers that do interior design. I like their finishes. They have great finishes. Their layouts are really good. So I think they're good. I think they're good. And if you're looking at a Class C, you should definitely take a look at them. I like Pleasure Ways Class Cs because they are only 22 feet in length. And unlike most of the other Class C manufacturers out there, which are 24, 25 feet in length, that extra 3 feet, saving of 3 feet, opens up a lot more possibilities for you. So I like the shorter kind of Class Cs from Pleasureway as well. So check those out. Um, the Airstream Interstate 19, I like. It's kind of frankly, it's a little bit of a copy of the Ascent, the layout, but that's okay. These manufacturers all kind of copy each other anyways. But yeah, it's nice. I have to check to see if they offer a lithium battery upgrade or not. If the time when they introduced it a few years ago, there was no lithium battery upgrade on the Airstream 19, and you had to do it aftermarket through a third party. But it'd be nice if they offered that now, kind of like the way Pleasureway does. But, it has just all the trademark Airstream little touches in it, the brushed metal around the window, bathroom window, the materials like the floor, which looks a little bit more like boating flooring, and then the ceiling, which is, aluminum and things like that. Things that I don't like about the Ascent, I talked a little bit, about the tank sizes. I think they could stand to be just a little bit larger. The freshwater tank's 20 gallons. I don't have so much of a problem with the 20-gallon freshwater tank because you can always use opportunity filling. I always carry a couple collapsible 1 and 2 gallon um, water jugs. They just collapse down, and we use that if there's no hose or anything around. We just occasionally fill those up at a gas station and dump it into the tank. So 20-gallon fresh water you can kind of get away with. The gray water, though, is a little bit of a challenge because it's only 15 gallons, and that always fills up twice or three times as fast as the black water tank. Black water tank's 12 gallons, but we take showers in it. We take, washing a lot of dishes. So you're going to fill up that gray water tank pretty fast. And that's when you're going to need to go and look for some type of dump station somewhere. So you can download an app or go online called Santa Dumps. There's a couple other ones, and you just put your location in, and it'll find a dump station either at a campground or a water treatment facility or something like that. Where you can dump, but it's a hassle, right? Or you can find a campground, but then you're going to pay the whatever you're going to pay per night at the campground. So that's the only limitation I really kind of don't like about the Ascent. The panoramic Class B, I love the panoramic Class B. I really do. I begged Pleasureway to make a layout like the panoramic because when the Heimer went away and the Active, we still have the Travado, which has that front lounge layout. But and I think now, do we have the Thor sequence? Does it have that? I can't remember. I don't think it. I have to go back and review it. Anyways, there's not enough of that excellent front lounge layout with the permanent bed in the back and the bathroom galley midsection on a 20-foot, 21-foot van. There's just not enough selection out there. I love that layout. Combined with the fact that Panoramic has a top quality build. When I went inside it and I reviewed it, it's every bit as good as a Pleasureway. So I'm stoked. I really love that Panoramic RV. I'm helping them as much as I can bring them into the United States, but it's a lot of work for them. They're a small manufacturer. They have to buy the chassis in the US. They have to ship them across to Canada, to Quebec, build them out in their factory in Quebec, and then ship them back across to the US. They have to build out their dealer network in the US, their support network, and stuff like that. So it's a lot of work, but I think it's a great product, and I would love to test one out long term. Maybe, maybe that'll happen. Don't know. Could be. Anyways, I love it. I think it's a great product. All right. If there's no more questions, I've taken up so much of your time, taken up 25 minutes of your time. Then I will sign off, and I'll probably see you in a few days. How did I find the driver's seat on the Panoramic? It was fine. Uh, Driver's seat was fine. It's your typical ProMaster. They did not update the driver's seat at all. The ProMaster rides, differently. Just try them out. It rides differently than the Sprinter. They both stood up real high. The ProMaster sits a lot more forward because it's a front wheel drive, and the turning radius is a lot tighter on the ProMaster. But I drove it, and I felt it was extremely comfortable. Um, Yeah, so but check it out yourself, check out the ProMaster, check out the Sprinter, and see which one you like. But, yeah. Yeah, I can't always see I apologize, I can't always see the questions because 'cause I'm looking on my screen and they kinda come up and then they fade away. So I try to catch them when they come up, but I don't have, like, a chat window on my phone screen where I can go back and review. I'll figure all this out. So I try to catch them. Whenever your question comes up, I try to see it and then answer it. So I'll get better at this. We'll get better at this, but I love it. I love the intimacy with you guys and just being able to hang out with you guys here in my home, answer questions, talk about the trip that we are on, what trip we're planning. Um, it's really cool. So thank you all for sticking with me. I really love you all, and I look forward to sharing more adventures with you too, and answering all your questions. And thank you so much. All right. Okay, everyone, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.